Hey everybody, so I've been working on cutting plywood planks to finish up the side here and finish the back. And in the past I've used a straight edge and a cutter knife to scribe parallel lines, much like what one would do with a mortise and gauge in the plywood. And I've used that as a guide for the saw. I use a pull saw and use the large tooth, and I make 2 or 3 passes, just dragging the tooth through the plywood to create a channel, and this makes for a very clean cut. These scarfed edges get scarfed down to less than that thick, so the quality of that face grain on the feather edge side is paramount. Otherwise, if I just use a saw blade, even a veneer blade, anything other than a razor to cut that face grain, it just falls apart. I'm standing here underneath this roof, which has continued to serve me quite well, and just as I turn away from this, I notice a slight rusty looking spot, a horizontal line on the side of the hull here. And these are the sort of surprises that really growing short on patience for with this boat. I have to give the builder a lot of credit. He used high quality epoxy and either kauri or sapelli, some sort of dark, extremely hard rot resistant wood, but the quality of workmanship in Tonga was just in the toilet. Absolutely horrible. Those guys couldn't seal a vacuum bag, or who knows, he was an amputee, maybe he was working alone and he couldn't get around a vacuum bag fast enough to seal it up before the epoxy began to kick. Either way, I took note of a small horizontal line here, and just out of curiosity I grazed over it with the chisel, and here's what I found. And these are the kind of surprises that are difficult to anticipate underneath of a very concealing layer of bottom paint or LPU. The spot, which was just a small horizontal line, turns out to be, wonder of all wonders, not only a piss poor scarf, but another void area, and the chimpanzees who sanded this bottom completely removed the barrier coat. I'm going to get in here really close so everybody can see. That is nothing but ablative bottom paint, folks. And turn this piece over, I bet you're not even going to see any sign of glass at all. Nothing. Not a thing. This is what happens when other people work on your boat. They go nuts on the bottom with a sander, and at the end of the day they go home and have a beer, and you're the one who's out on the water with their crap workmanship. I'll never buy a boat built by anyone else, not on a cold day in hell. The only thing that I'll sail in the ocean on will be built by me and nobody else, unless it's somebody that I'm working with and trust implicitly. So I started removing a bit more material here, and this wood is wet. Now, how the hell this is getting wet really astounds me, because there's a roof over this and it is not leaking. And while there's a stream of water coming down right here, sorry guys, I didn't mean to make everybody sick, this area of the deck back here is dry. So clearly water is migrating from somewhere up on this beam, probably down along the glue joint, and down into these layers. So now I have yet another area of who knows how large of size that has to be removed. And I'm just gonna go in right here, and you can see that that's a void. It's a big one. It's wet. And if I just pry on this baby, I bet you dollars for donuts. Yeah, look at that. That wood is wet. There is no glass there hardly at all. I'm going to excavate this a bit more, but this is going to have to be routed out, bagged down, dried out, and planked in this area. And this is just one area. I'm lucky I found this. How many other areas are under this bottom paint? I won't know until I strip it all off. So really, stripping off the bottom paint, stripping off the glass and the so-called piss poor barrier coat on the bottom of this thing is not a matter of choice, it's a necessity. Areas like this have to be found. They don't go away. Wood becomes weak when it's wet, and inevitably this stuff starts to lose its strength, especially since this water is not from the ocean. This will rot this wood. Okay, I'm on a 6-minute rant here. For all of you out there who are dealing with a second-hand wood epoxy multi-hull, utmost respect for you and best of luck to you. I'll keep posting content as I go along and keep updating. As much as it troubles my conscience to contemplate selling my soul to the devil and building something out of foam core fiberglass, man oh man, it's looking like a more realistic possibility every day. Alright, I'll keep updating this as I go along. Take care.